Alright, how we doing? Welcome one and all to Monday's video, and we're going to start with a beautiful sight, the Scottish Premiership league table, which looks pretty good to me. Celtic 6 points clear, 6.5 points really with that goal difference. The most points Rangers can finish on now is 91, so Celtic need 13 more points to clinch the title. We've got a jam-packed video for you today on the channel. So much to get through. The fallout from our wonderful victory at Ibrox yesterday. I sense it's going to be a long video, so I'm just going to get cracked on with it. By the way, that gag at the start with the ironing board was to do with some of the comments I received following yesterday's video about the state of my Celtic away shirt, and with good reason. Listen, I'll take the comments constructively and I'll move on and improve myself going forward. Me and Stevie had a lot of fun recording that video. It's actually got close to 40,000 views at the time of me recording this, which is just pretty crazy and just shows how much yesterday's result has captured the hearts and the minds of the Celtic support around the world, but more on that in a wee second. The reaction was also apparently being shown in the Hoops bar in the Gallagate yesterday. A big thanks to Connor for sending me that photo and alerting me to that. Hopefully the Hoops bar is now having its licence revoked after that reprehensible act of showing me and Stevie on the big screens. There must have been nothing else on at that stage. We did have comments on yesterday's video from all over the world. Lots and lots of you in Australia. We had someone actually in Austria, New Zealand, China, Ireland. We had Michael in Orlando, Florida, Jerry in Thailand, John in Laos, which is kind of ironic because Rangers Laos yesterday. It's amazing, and this is where I get a little bit genuine. It's amazing to see everyone coming together for Celtic, and I suppose by association 67 Hail as well. Wherever you are in the world, whatever you're putting up with right now, it's nice that we can have this community. We could never have imagined that such a community would have been formed when we started the channel a couple of years ago. So it genuinely does mean a lot to me, and I know I speak for the rest of the guys as well in saying that we appreciate every single one of you. I'm getting quite emotional here, but that's mainly down to the hangover after drinking excessively yesterday evening. I'm going to move on and I'm going to read out 6 of your comments from the live stream on today's video. That's one for each of the points Celtic are clear at the top of the league. We're starting with Billy Creighton. He saw a different mentality from this Celtic team yesterday. We looked like champions. To win leagues, you have to win ugly sometimes. It's Celtic's league to lose now, and that won't happen. I thought our defensive effort in the match yesterday, especially the second half, was superb. We really limited Rangers to very little in such a hostile environment as well. For me, that's perhaps been one of the only things this Celtic team hadn't achieved up until yesterday. I think in a lot of our European games, and let's face it, Rangers are, a kind of very similar standard to the likes of Real Betis and Ferencváros and Leverkusen that we played in Europe. Previously, we've kind of struggled to actually get over the line in these matches. We conceded big goals at big times against Bodo Glimt, against Leverkusen and against Betis. Yesterday, we got over the line and I thought we defended brilliantly in that second half. Real, bodies on the line. Starfelt was immense. Carter Vickers was obviously immense. Beaton was great when he came on. Ralston was great when he came on. Greg Taylor really grew into the game before he came off midway through the second half. And I think this is really important for this Celtic team going forward. Next season, we are potentially, quite probably now going to be playing Champions League football. And I think a result like yesterday, holding firm in such a difficult environment can only be massive, character building for this Celtic team. So great stuff. Alfred Muller, this team is mentally and physically ready for the run to the finish. We had 11 attackers and 11 defenders. That's cheating, surely, but which is right out of Ange's playbook. Caution though, do not count the chickens before they hatched. Still a long way to go, but a great position to be in at the moment. It is an incredible position. Can we briefly get the league table up again, just to remind ourselves, because I'd forgotten what this league table looked like. I'm already looking at Saturday now, St Johnstone, a massive chance for us to tick another game off, get another 3 points and move 9 clear and turn the heat further up on Rangers the following day. But they're kind of irrelevant now, Rangers. It's all about what Celtic do. We're in a brilliant, brilliant position now. And, you know, it's ours to lose. As I said earlier in the week, we've got one hand in the title at this stage. I believe that Celtic could win this league for most of the season. Probably not right at the start of the season when we lost, I think, 3 out of our first 6 matches. But certainly since, you know, our unbeaten run started, I believed that it was possible this year. Yesterday was the first time that I came to terms with the fact that it's actually going to happen and Celtic are actually going to win the league in Postecoglou's first season. I say I've come to terms with that. I probably haven't actually. It's still probably sinking in. But the good thing is now that, yes, there's still work to be done. There's still a good bit of work when you think about it. But we're in such a good position and we can kind of start to maybe enjoy things a little bit more in that we now have breathing space at the top of the table, which we haven't had all season. We've got 6 points now, a good cushion and just a huge opportunity going forward. Paul Cochrane, Police Scotland, has announced that the incident at the start of the second half has been identified as Rangers bottle crashing. If I speak, I'm in big trouble, to quote a famous Portuguese football manager who we'd never criticise on the channel. I can't possibly discuss whether Rangers bottle has crashed or not after, you know, what happened last season. Being serious though, because it's not really something we should joke about too much. Some pretty distasteful scenes at Ibrox yesterday. A really embarrassing day for Rangers all round, all the way from the cringeworthy Old Firm branding at Ibrox to the plane that flew overhead during the first half with the message, "Bring home 56 GVB WATP." I hope they kept the receipt for that. The unsavoury scenes with a smashed bottle delaying the start of the second half, other missiles being thrown at Celtic players from all 4 corners of the ground, and a member of the Celtic staff being hit by a glass bottle and requiring urgent medical treatment. Celtic confirmed this with a spokesperson saying, "We can confirm that a member of our backroom staff was struck by a glass bottle. He required urgent medical treatment and stitches to a head wound. The matter is now in the hands of Police Scotland." First Minister Nicola Sturgeon described it as mindless, thuggish behaviour earlier today, so we'll see if anything happens. Really disgraceful scenes. However, it wasn't just the Celtic employees that were subjected to this. I've spoken to plenty of Celtic fans who were in the away end at Ibrox yesterday. They've claimed objects, including glass bottles again, were launched at them from the upper tiers. So really disappointing stuff, hardly surprising though, as I said yesterday. I wanted to quickly hear from Declan McConville and hear what he made of the spectacle yesterday. He was fortunate enough to be one of the 700 Celtic fans at Ibrox, and this is what he sent me earlier.
Celtic support, I think, you know, 700 always were outstanding on the day, and it gives the players somewhere to go in the stadium, you know, when you get that goal, and obviously you see the celebrations at the end with the team and the manager coming over and all that stuff. It just gives us something to hold on to. It gives us a place to go into the stadium, something we lacked at the end of August when we were there. But yeah, on the game, you know, it was the usual stuff getting thrown at you and whatever else. Kind of came to expect that, but no, I thought atmosphere wise it was the Celtic fans that certainly delivered on the atmosphere, non-stop for 90 minutes of the game, and at the end, you know, we've had the Broomlin taken away from us, but the corner has now becoming a bit of a spectacle because it's, you know, it's 2 games we've went there with a travelling support and we've won twice on the bounce, and it's great to have that 6-point cushion. So yeah, atmosphere wise yesterday, Celtic fans were right up for it.
Declan makes a good point there about Celtic having won now twice in a row at Ibrox when we had fans there. Now I know it's a wee bit of a kind of qualified statement, but it does just show that the fans make a difference. Would Celtic have come back yesterday after conceding that early goal with no fans at Ibrox? Possibly. Maybe I'm doing a real disservice to Ange and the team, but I think it would have been that bit harder. Thanks Declan for pitching in with that video. You can follow him on Twitter at Declan RMcC. Just wanted to get a bit of insight on what it was like to be at Ibrox yesterday. Just while we're dipping into what other people have to say, let's check in on a few of the guys from the channel and feel how they're feeling today after, I'm assuming, quite a rough night.
Make no mistake, that was a season-defining win yesterday. we've all spoke about it in the previews about how massive the 3 points could be in terms of winning that title. And yeah, it's ours to lose now. We're obviously massive favourites, and I think as a fan base we can all start dreaming of the day that Cal lifts that trophy. But where we can rest easy is, make no mistake, the players and the Ange in particular won't let us get complacent. He won't let us think like that, and they'll be taking it game by game, one step at a time, and just ticking down the games until we get it done. So no, there's so much to be excited about, but there is a lot of work to be done. There's a treble in sight, which I'm sure we're all dreaming of now. But for today, I think Celtic fans across the world will just sit back, enjoy injecting every single bit of Celtic content out there, whether it's Twitter, whether it's the podcasts, memes, videos, highlights, the lot. I've been doing the same and will be for the rest of the week.
I mean, it was an incredible win for the boys and the manager, but everyone's going to go on about the title race, and of course it gives us such a terrific advantage. But I think just as important as that, for me as a Celtic fan, I think the fact that we've now broken that psychological disadvantage we've had against Rangers recently, I think that's huge for us in the bigger picture. The 3-0 win at Parkhead was superb, great night, we all loved it, we absolutely battered Rangers, all the rest of it. But there's something about that game yesterday, going to Ibrox, where they hadn't lost in 2 years, and doing them over so comfortably. That was just as big a statement for me. I think it's huge for Ange, huge for this Celtic team to go to their ground and boss them in the manner we did, which was so comfortable. I know it was 2-1, I know it was a narrow victory if you look at the scoreline, but can you honestly say Celtic were massively under the cosh? Cameron Carter-Vickers and Carl Starfelt were absolutely superb. They dealt with every ball that came into that penalty area, and outside of that, Rangers were all over the place. They didn't have the same psychological advantage that they had over us last season, for example. And I think Ange and the boys have firmly broken it after that result yesterday. It's brilliant stuff for the club.
Great stuff, guys. And just on John is just such a big dog nowadays that he actually had the official A-League, the League of Australia, quoting him yesterday on Twitter. Great company there as well with Chris Sutton and friend of the channel Ryan McGowan. Anyway, moving on to your next comment, we've got Paul Turner. Where are all the people who said Maida is useless? Said it time and time again, his work rate off the ball is another level. He and Gigi constantly forced them to play down the channels. Maida was superb yesterday. For me, he was the man of the match. I love the guy. I think Gigi was excellent as well. He put in a real shift. He actually bravely won the free kick that led to the winning goal. And he was brave because it was a horrible challenge from Lundstrom, the Rangers midfielder. And, Gigi just battled the whole game, and so did Maida. I think we've found a couple of real gems there. They're both really good players. They both score a lot of goals. Not yesterday, but even when they're not scoring, the thing I like about both of them is they're very rarely in the periphery of a match. They're always involved in some way, even if it's off the ball stuff. I love them both, and they have to stay in the team for me for now. Yeah, hopefully Kyogo maybe can be back on the bench on Saturday against St Johnstone, but I just don't think you can change, that front three going forward, given how they played yesterday, both offensively and defensively. On to Christoph Bonhoeffer of Belgravia. This was a massive achievement today. Rangers have kept a phenomenal record at Ibrox by turning it into a fortress, so to go a goal behind in an absolute cauldron of pressure and noise and manage to turn it around is nothing short of magnificent. Ange has built this team in under one season, and he's done it the hard way. We shouldn't really be surprised that Celtic went to Ibrox yesterday and won, even after conceding such an early goal. This team, apart from that really rocky start to the season when we basically didn't have a team to field at times, they have answered every single question that's been asked of them domestically. Going behind in the cup final, real pressure on us at that stage, coming back to win that, coming through Tynecastle and the derby before yesterday without key players, not making excuses, finding winning goals twice, in the last minute with 10 men, no coincidence there. And Ange will just keep pushing this team on to improve. And I think that's what's the most exciting thing here. There's just so much more to come from this team. And as I've already said on this video, results like yesterday are character building for this side. And they've shown that they just get stronger and stronger as things go on. So great stuff. Hopefully we can hit new heights very soon. Barry O'Sullivan, amazing team performance. How they reacted to conceding so early will put them in a great stay moving forward. We've much bigger teams to face next year. I like that one a lot. And finally, Don Quadrado thought the difference in quality was telling. Take Morelos out of their side and they struggled to create and score. We have more squad depth and had great chances to make it more comfortable. Showed great resolve in the second half and they barely troubled Hart. Great feeling now. I think we'd all agree that we're feeling quite great. I actually thought of this in the second half when I was asking the guys I was watching the game with, who's on the Rangers bench to change this game. And I know they were missing Morelos and I think a couple of others, but in general there wasn't a great deal on that Rangers bench that kind of made me go, oh God, he could come on and really change the game for them. Whereas I looked on our bench and even without Kyogo being there, there's just so many players. And Matt O'Reilly came on for like 5 minutes or something, then went back off injured, and we could still bring David Turnbull on, and Turnbull played pretty well, I thought, when he came on, given that he'd been out for so long prior to coming back the previous week. So this Celtic squad is just so strong. I think it's a much stronger squad than Rangers, and it's probably only going to get even stronger going forward in comparison to Rangers next season. This isn't the 72 hello channel, but if it was, I'd probably be talking about several key players leaving in the summer. But Celtic aren't going to be having that at all. We're just going to get stronger and just building a squad here, and they're going to remain driven. And to be fair, I said that even prior to it looking like we're going to win the league. I felt that even if we fell slightly short this season, that we still have the squad there for future years to come. And it's only going to be expedited if we get the league title and get into the Champions League next year. I just think that raises everything at the club, both financially and in terms of what we see on the pitch as well. Now, I just want to get through some of the best Instagram reactions from Celtic players and a former Celtic player, because I know a lot of you quite like this stuff, and there's plenty of stuff going around. The best image is, of course, Carol Starfelt's one of Jota and Hatate in the bath at Ibrox. Hatate looks like he's scrolling Twitter there. I wonder what he's looking for. We burner account, perhaps. You can clearly see what Josip Juranovic thinks of Tom, Leo, Messi, Rogic here. And let's face it, after yesterday, who's really going to disagree with that? Loads of Celtic players praised the Fridge, which I'm assured is the nickname for Cameron Carter-Vickers, who of course netted the winner. So we've got the Bull, the Fridge, not great nicknames. Scott Brown enjoyed watching that one too, so he did. Great stuff from our former captain. And what happens now then? We face St Johnstone on Saturday, another 3 points up for grabs, another big opportunity to move 9 points clear of Rangers and just inch that little bit closer to the league title. We're still not sure who will join ourselves, Rangers and Hearts in the top six. Dundee United do look really good and host bottom place Dundee in the derby on Saturday. So I'm kind of thinking that they'll be in the top six as well. We'd be due to go to Tannadice. Again, we've already won there 3-0 twice this season, once in the league, once in the cup. Most of the other teams in that middle section of the league are playing each other this weekend, so we'll just have to wait and see who joins us in the top six. But I don't know about you, all of that stuff, just feeling that little bit more relaxed about it now, given that we have that wee cushion. A mega few days on the channel it has been, and it's hopefully going to be like this all month. We've got so many more big matches coming up, no international break to break things up at all. As well as all our big views, we actually gained about 250 new subscribers yesterday. So hello and welcome to the party. There's plenty more of you out there as well, I dare say. So please, if you're watching this, maybe you've just found out about 67 Hail Hail lately. If you would mind subscribing to the channel and joining the over 27,000 others at this stage, that would be massively appreciated, and it does help us to grow the channel. Far more coming the rest of this week. We're going to have Scott McDonald back on tomorrow with David giving his thoughts on the game. And while we're chatting about Scott McDonald, he actually sent me a video yesterday of him celebrating Celtic's victory at Ibrox with lots and lots of friends in Australia. He wanted you all to see it, so here you go. Excellent stuff, and we'll find out all about Scott's celebrations tomorrow when he joins me and David on the channel. Speak to you then.